All right, Coach. So here we go. Building blocks now. 2 years ago, you guys win the regular season. You hang a banner. Last year, you make this run. You go to the NCAA tournament. You get to get on that charter. Loved it. You get up to Spokane. What a great transformational experience for your program. And these are two really important building blocks. And you did it when you were injured, but you are healthy now. You've got a great roster. Help us understand what's in store for this season after those building blocks have been laid.
Yeah, it's been a journey, right? It's been a lot of years here, and it doesn't happen. Well, it doesn't happen overnight for me. So, just really fortunate to have good players and players that stuck around and stuck with me through this. And right now, with the injuries, we've had short rosters the last 2 years. Up to 50, 16 right now. So, I think we're gonna be able to take care of the deeper bench. And it's a new challenge this year. So it's going to be definitely a new challenge on playing time, on just, we have 7 incoming. So that's going to be a big one for us too. Figure that out.
Yeah, you guys did some work in the transfer portal this offseason, so props to you on that one. I want to talk a little bit about one addition in particular, that's Summer Hansen, who was the Big Sky Freshman of the Year. She had 14 double-doubles last season too, which is impressive in itself, of course. What does she bring to this team this year?
She's coming into a championship team. So I think for her, it's just about finding her feel here. She's done a pretty good job. She works extremely hard. There's no reason why I can see exactly why she was freshman of the year in the Big Sky. But she's got work to do here. So I think for her, it's just finding her footing here and following our veterans right now.
Great addition to a team that's got some pretty good talent coming back. Deja Lee, Player of the Year. She's a generational player, Coach. You got to admit that. Nikki Tom, 4-year starter. Steady Eddie there. And Nevaeh Dean, returning starter. So you get that transfer portal kid, and now all of a sudden you've got these pieces coming together. Kind of like to know what you think you might be able to do that, if anything, might be different from years past.
Yeah, I think, Deja, we could probably speak for hours and days on her. She is a generational player, not just because of what she does on the court, but what she does off the court. Also, probably the nicest person you'll ever meet, although she is Canadian, so I haven't really met a mean Canadian yet. For Nikki Tom, I think for her, she's been a 4-year starter for me. Well, she will be a 4-year starter for me. And I think that's just a big thing for her. She's by putting in her years here and what she's been able to accomplish, not just on the court, but also off the court. And then as well as what you mentioned, Nevaeh Dean, she's a transfer from us, but been able to give us 3 solid years, and just the leadership and the way she's fit into our program. I like to see every transfer follow in her footsteps on how she's been able to make that transition.
What's been your portal mindset over the years? What are you looking for, especially this past off season when you've returned 4 starters, so it's not like you're trying to get that many starters coming in. What's your kind of mindset when you're digging into the portal?
We don't have it figured out yet. It's still fairly new, and I don't know too much. What we do know is that we try to do our research as fast as possible. I still believe in culture, and I still believe in time at this university and figuring out our team. It's not easy coming into this team and finding your place. So a 1 year is very difficult. But I do think we're starting to figure out. I have great assistants. Honestly, they're the ones that really do the work and find the fit for the program.
Your program really, Coach, in a premier spot, and in more ways than one. I want to go to the preseason poll. You guys picked second, 5 first-place votes. You guys are only second to Hawaii, 6 first-place votes. 11 first-place votes between you and Hawaii. Obviously very close. A lot of talent with those schools. But UC Davis, we just talked to Jen Gross, and she's got some great players. She's got a lot of talent, veteran talent coming back. Long Beach State, Amy Wright, building in her first year last season, coming into her second year now. She's settled. Cal Poly, Chanel Stiers. You and I both know Chanel. We've known Chanel for decades and know what she can do. I'm just curious your understanding of these top 5 slots, and then of course some of the others that you can never sleep on any of these teams.
Absolutely. I think every year I've been here, I think we've slept on teams and they beat us, so I don't think that it's an easy conference. I think Hawaii is well deserved the first place. Davis, same thing. I don't know if we deserve that second place. I appreciate that, and it's a nice thing to have. But to be really honest, it's just about when we get going and seeing where we all stand. This is an easy conference. As a player and as a coach in this conference, I know how tough it can be.
With how competitive the conference is, what's it going to take this year to win the league?
That's a loaded question. I don't really know the answer to that. It just comes with game by game, day by day. I don't think we look too far ahead. I think it's really important to stay in the moment, and I think that is a challenge for us. Is not to look ahead and see what's ahead of us for the tournament and to see how we're firing. But right now, I'm just trying to win the day tomorrow. I'm just excited to be undefeated today and tell everybody that.
Coach, your journey to UC Irvine and doing what you've done with Talia mentioning 420-win seasons and, of course, going to the NCAA last year. But your journey's been hard. You've had to grind and grit it out. And I can take you way back. I'm not going to do that. But let's start with New Mexico State and you being sort of a byproduct of Mark Track, who I played for him. You coached with him. We both know what we both learned from him. But the journey has been hard, and it's just getting so much more rewarding for you. And I just kind of want you to help us understand what that's like to work so hard and grind and grit, but then get those victories along the way.
Not only has Coach Track coached you, and I've been a part of his byproduct. I have 3 other players on my staff that's also been a byproduct of Coach Track. So it's no coincidence of our success and how we're getting it. You only learn the grind and what it takes and the opportunities that are given to you and how you take it. And I think the idea here is an opportunity that's been given here, and it's up to me, and it's up to my staff to really hone in and figure it out. It's not easy. Every university is different. Every conference is different. Every game is different. So just figuring out what the fit is at Irvine, from what our president would like to our athletic director, all the way down to our players. That's a different look too. But it's a grind, and it's not just a grind on everyday stuff. It's a grind on what the NCAA is looking like every single day and how fast it's changing. And that's just trying to keep up with it as well. The portal hasn't always been great to us. It did knock us down for a little bit too. So I think it's just about how we respond and how we react to it.
Who's someone that's really impressed you this offseason, that stood out, that'll maybe take a big step up this season?
Well, I think it's too early to tell, to be honest. Talia, my staff has been tremendous. I'll give them the props. I think they're doing a great job of preparing and prepping and getting in the gym. And so every day it's someone that is, maybe, this one maybe, and so I think for us, it's not a consistent player by any means. I think, obviously with Nikki and DJ and Dino and then Amelia Scharf coming back as well, being a 4-year player for me, I think those are consistent, like knowing they're consistent. But every day right now, it's you did okay today. Good job. Let's go tomorrow. So we'll see.
Do those players remember that championship game in Henderson, Nevada? Those players that you just mentioned, they were all in that championship game that sent you to the NCAA tournament. It's hard to forget that game.
Absolutely. The first highlight was Diaba giving me the biggest hug in the world, because what we went through together was awesome, and I think she's one of the ones that started this culture here, coming in as a transfer, and just hugging my players and my staff, and just really enjoying that moment, because we've been at that championship game and had lots of losses in there. And so I think that was a big thing for us, especially my associate head coach too, Cecilia, what we've gone through together. So I think that's been really good. The second highlight was sitting right next to you, Tammy, and being able to sit there and enjoy that moment with you, because I know that you've watched us lose so many times, and just being able to sit with you and give you that hug was also a big highlight for me.
You mentioned kind of the tougher parts that you've had to go through, and how the portal hasn't always been so kind to you, right? And I think that's, the case a lot of places over the country. And I've been asking this question a lot today, but I think it's an interesting one, and I'm putting you on the spot with it here real quick. But if you were in charge of making the decisions in women's basketball, what's one change that you would like to see made, whether it's, rule related, portal related, whatever it might be?
The biggest thing I think is rewarding for graduation. I think graduation is one of the most important pieces for young women, and to have that education and to be able to move and do something with it. This is a game, and a game that we all love to do. And I'm fortunate enough to sit in this seat and coach these young women. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think transferring and making sure it's for the right move and the right reasons, and then being able to get that degree and have the relationships across the campus with our professors, being able to get those internships, being able to understand what that takes. I think that at the end of the day is the most important piece. I think internships are a must. Every one of my seniors went through it this summer, and we took a lot of hits for it, because it's more important than basketball.
Absolutely, I love that.
Somebody's spoken like they care more about teaching their young women about things that are bigger than basketball, and I absolutely love it.
Me too. I would completely agree.
Yeah. Look, I love what I do, and this is amazing. But at the end of the day, what I want to do is, like I said, with my players, when they come back and visit, it's the most rewarding thing for me, and also to speak to my team about what they've done too, and people that can just reflect and teach. And I think they don't believe me. I'm the head coach. If I tell them like, you're going to regret this, they don't believe me. But if maybe a player comes in or Tammy comes in and speaks to them, or somebody else, that will resonate with them.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Coach. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate your time.
He is the winningest coach in program history with 289 career wins. That means you're old, Russell Turner. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I'm doing well, Jeff. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, 11 straight winning seasons, 7 Big West regular season titles in a 10-year span. You've won back-to-back regular season titles, but I know you want this. The last tourney title was in 2019. You also won it in 2015. All right, why is this the year, Russ, that you're going to get back to the NCAA tournament?
Well, yeah. Hey, thanks for framing it like that. I like this team. We got as veteran a team as we've had since that 19, maybe since the 20 year. I really am grateful to the veterans that we've got who've returned for the investment they've made in our program and in each other and in this university. We have a chance, I think, to be good. And sometimes you have to go through some pain to grow into what you can become. And losing in the semifinals of the conference tournament last year to a really good Long Beach team who had a great effort, that's a tough thing to experience for any group. And hopefully we can use that as fuel to be better when that time comes this year.
Coach, I don't know if you ever get a chance to look back and appreciate all your milestones and accomplishments, but as Jeff said, you're 11 wins from 300, 4-time Big West Coach of the Year. You've won 7 of the last 10 conference titles and I think 8 postseason appearances. Just won another regular season championship, another NIT. Hands down, you've been the most dominant program since you've gotten in Big West. And I just wanted to get that out there so people that may not know now know. And you obviously, you're known annually for how elite your defensive and rebounding rankings are. And you play a lot of guys. So I've asked this question to you before, but I'd like for everybody to know, where in your coaching background did you develop this philosophy of defense and rebounding and playing as many guys as you do? I know you came up the rank under some outstanding coaches, but can you just touch on that for us?
Yeah. And hey, thank you for listing all those things. I hope we can have some fun on this one. Those things, those memories are fun for us. But I sure also hope we can focus more on this year's team. We have had some consistency. A lot of that is based in our defense. What really I learned along the way is that you have to have a program that matches your university. Or in the NBA, when I coached, I thought our team matched the city of Oakland when I was there with the Golden State Warriors. And so I think we've done that here. We've got great people who are hardworking, underdog type guys who have a gritty edge to them. And so that often for us translates into, being able to recruit more defensive minded players. I think we've been able to uncover value on the defensive end in recruiting. And so we've been able to turn that into success. And I think that being able to continue to adapt is now our biggest challenge. We've got to improve to stay good, to continue to compete for championships. and everybody I've got here is really motivated to do that. I've had great continuity with my staff. Some of your question was about my background. Having worked for 4 different Hall of Fame coaches and played for another one on my high school team is the greatest blessing a coach could have. That's the path that I've been lucky enough to be on. So I don't know if I've learned more from Mike Montgomery or Don Nelson or Dave Odom or Tony Shaver or Woody Deans, but I've learned a lot from all of them. And hopefully I get a chance to pass some of what I've picked up along to the players and coaches that I'm working with now. That's the great joy in coaching.
So you mentioned gritty edge. You went to the Jones Cup. You took your team to Taiwan for the Jones Cup. And I bet some of that gritty edge came in there when you went to Snake Alley. Tell me what you ate in Snake Alley and drank. Tell everybody.
Okay, Jeff, with the research. All right, I like it. So we played in the Jones Cup last year in the summer. I had previously gone to the Jones Cup in 1997. The world was a lot different in 1997. I was a younger man. That was my first trip to Snake Alley. And when we went to Snake Alley, my buddy and I then, I was scared to drink the snake blood and lived with that regret until we returned to Taiwan last year. And my coaching staff had heard about it. So we had a staff outing one night where we ate snake, we drank snake blood, we drank snake venom. We had a culinary experience that not many have had. Not many have had that one. And
hey, you're a better man than me. Russ, you're a better man than me. There's no way I'm drinking snake venom.
Me either, man.
No way.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got 2 guys on my staff, and Mike Wilder and Ali Tong, who've been to more exotic places and tried more exotic things. I imagine those 2 guys, they'll get out there and get after it. We did have a good experience over there. Couldn't put a price on the experience our program had visiting Taiwan and playing in that and having different types of cultural experiences, of which the snake blood night was only one.
That's awesome.
Hey, you might have the best backcourt coming back in the conference. 2 all-conference guys, Andre Henry, Justin Hone, which it's been fun to see Justin Hone's progress because I don't think he had a D1 offer. I think you might have to remind us, did he walk on, or maybe UC Irvine was his only Division I offer, but he's really come along and played well. And you got the big fellas, Devin Tillis, you got Ben Leuchten. Maybe touch on those guys, or maybe even talk a little bit about some of the lesser-known returners that we don't hear about so much, or maybe some of the newcomers you're excited about.
Okay, yeah, good. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about these guys. I've got 4 returning starters out of 5. Since one of them, he was not a walk-on, but I do think we were his only Division I offer when we offered him. And I spent about a whole week in South Dakota watching him, trying to figure out what other people were not seeing that I thought that I was. I'm sure glad that we made the decision on him that we did, and that he stayed here and committed to us the way that he has. I'm super excited for him. He started a full year for us at the point guard position, and in the last 2 years has played more off the ball and more as a scorer, but he's a versatile 2-way player who I know is going to have a great year. He's gotten better and better, and he's gotten more and more fun to coach, like most guys do in our program. The growth that I've seen from him is tremendous, and I'm excited for him about it. You know, you asked about our backcourt combination. Andre Henry's the returning Defensive Player of the Year. The guys who win that award, you know, have a special place in my heart, because I know the type of commitment and toughness and consistency it takes to perform at that level on the defensive end. You know, it's special to be perceived that way by others. Andre's earned that, and he's also become an outstanding offensive player, shooting over 40-some% from 3 last year. You know, a versatile ball handler, an underrated passer. We've got a crew of guys who all can pass. All 4 of those returning starters that I've got are excellent, unselfish players who see the game and make others better. Devin Tillis doesn't get the recognition, in my opinion, that maybe he should, in part because He's in the past been limited by injuries, but I think he's going to have a huge year for us and can be one of the top players in the conference, both on the offensive side and the defensive side. And then Bent Lloydston the same. You know, he's 7'1". He's got a dominant physical presence. He's had dominant nights, but he's also struggled some with injuries and with maybe conditioning a little bit, and maybe the fact that I haven't played him as much as I plan to play him this year. You know, you alluded to the fact that we play a lot of guys. These 4 seniors are poised and ready for breakout seasons, I believe.
Well, listen, Russ, I appreciate you joining us, man. I'm glad I caught you off guard with that one story. You know, listen, that's what I get paid to do. You know, you gotta loosen these things up, lighten them up a little bit, and do my research. So that was a heck of a story, and I'm still never drinking blood. I'm not doing it.
If you're in Taiwan, Jeff, you ought to give it a try. You know, I've traveled all over the world recruiting players.
Wait. Before we let you go, how did it taste?
I don't really remember. You know, it was okay.
You had a few drinks.
Cold Heineken to chase it.
All right. We know you had a few drinks before you had that snake blood.
You take it like a shot, or is it like a cup?
Yeah, both were shots.
Okay.
Yeah, both were shots. It's it's a great experience. I highly recommend it. I wanted for 20 some years to do it, and I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad that my whole staff has also had that experience.
Listen, we appreciate it, Russ. Great seeing you. Great talking to you. Good luck this season, and we'll be watching.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Got it. There he is, UC Irvine head coach Russell Turner.